Hello, beautiful world. Welcome to the next episode of Beautiful Show. I am Izabela Grobak, the owner and founder of Authentic Wellbeing. And today, in our episode, we are going to talk about forgiveness. Yes, very, very hard, maybe heavy, maybe very vulnerable, sensitive topic today, forgiveness. I am not going to elaborate on forgiveness and give you a speech for an hour. I really literally would love to share with you how forgiveness can free you up from the past and allow you to move on. Yes, easy said, but this is the final conclusion, and this is actual liberation. Anybody who can forgive, who forgives, can experience. So yes, forgiveness is giving an amazing unload of whatever heaviness we are carrying or we were carrying throughout the past. Whatever happened, whoever something did to us, forgiveness is really a crucial into moving on into any of your personal transformational work. I'm saying crucial because it's literally not going to allow you move on. And before I start telling you a little more about forgiveness, I want to show you an analogy, visual, to imagine what forgiveness might be. Imagine yourself being loaded, being chained to a very heavy rock or a ball, like which is stone ball, very heavy, like all those ancient prisoners were having those chains and that heavy rock so they couldn't run away, right? Imagine yourself chained to that heavy rock, and imagine yourself on top of that having also extra heavy load on your shoulders. It's not only that you cannot run away and move and walk, but it's also weighing you down. It's also not allowing you to even raise your arms. It's not allowing you to look up. It's literally weighing you down. Those two heavy loads. And now imagine dumping that heavy load sitting on your shoulders, dumping it, like literally crushing it out and moving it on the side, or literally dumping it behind you or on the side, and feeling that freeing. Imagine maybe you were carrying at some point something heavy on your shoulders, maybe backpack, maybe how light it felt when you actually eventually let it go, let it be on the side, let it go. And so think, like when you're listening to this visual, really close your eyes and envision that feeling. That the lightness, allowness, that freedom. You can now open your chest, you can breathe better because your entire airways are also having more freedom here instead of being constricted. You feel like your shoulders are expanding and opening up, and you can look up, you can look around. You are really liberated. What about that second load? Imagine yourself now cutting those chains, really removing those chains from that heavy rock, which didn't allow you to make any step, maybe just one or two steps forward. And the moment when you wanted to move another step, then there was that sudden limitation which that rock and that chain was causing you. Imagine now this chain is gone. Imagine that rock is gone. Imagine you are walking and even feeling that just a minute ago you couldn't move, and now you stepped forward, and then you stepped forward again, and then you made another third step, and then suddenly you realize that you can move forward. You are not bounced back towards the rock again, you can move forward. How does that feel? So think about those two feelings or those two scenarios. How would those things make you feel? Just don't envision this in terms of forgiveness. Right now, just envision this as literal sensations in your body. Imagine you're carrying those weights and now you are free of them. And feel your beautiful sensation in your body, in your heart. How would that feel? And now I would like you to think about forgiveness as those two weights. That forgiveness, basically lack of forgiveness, are those two weights. They not only not allowing you, when you cannot forgive, to move forward, but they also are not allowing you to open up, liberate yourself, and see more around you and in front of you, because now you can raise your head up. So it's literally a liberation, a growth, expansion, freedom, lightness, happiness, joy, curiosity, maybe even, as you can now see more and walk into unknown. Yes, it might be scary, but it is a new territory you can step into. This is how forgiveness works. This is how it worked for me. And forgiveness is two-part. Forgiveness is a lifestyle. Like many transformational work tools, is a lifestyle. Forgiveness is happening every day. Forgiveness can be forgiveness of others, and forgiveness is of ourselves. In many cases, many times, we try to force forgiveness of others and trying, and we have such a hardship, especially when someone really did bad things to you and really caused you extreme hurt and trauma. It is hard. But then sometimes we are not allowing ourselves and forgiving ourselves for actually letting go. We sometimes need to forgive ourselves for very tiny little things, forgiving, for letting go, for allowing yourself to move on, for giving ourselves to step out of that cell where you were stranded with that rock and with that weight on your shoulders, and now moving on, getting out of that cell into lightness, into new territory, and many other things. Forgiveness is a very layered work. Also, like many, again, transformational processes, it is really layered. It's like peeling off the onion. It is not going to happen once at a time, all things together. It literally will show you, once you will start working on a forgiveness, how forgiving one thing can uncover and bring to the surface another things. You can experience joy and happiness and lightness, or you can experience more sadness and grief. Both of those experiences, once you peel off layer number one maybe, will tell you that there is still something going on. Once you experience joy and happiness, yeah, it may indicate you let it go. It may indicate that somewhere there might be something else later on showing up. But for now, you will know that you let go one thing, and when things again show up, you will know how to work on it. When you experience that other scenario, grief, sadness, pain, hurt, because you let go something, but another things are showing up, another situations, another people, don't give up. This is a really layered work, and those emotions are literally telling you that there is more to it, and you need to let go of more things in order to be free. And each of us carry different burdens. Each of us are traumatized and abused were traumatized and abused in different ways. There is no levels of abuse. You know, like I personally was thinking, and now I'm like kind of, well, whatever. That was self-judgment, definitely. For so many years I was thinking, I was never really abused, right? I never was physically beaten. I never was really physically like sexually abused, like raped. I never was, there were a couple of layers, right? Of me thinking I am not abused. I wasn't abused. I am not a traumatized person. Bullshit. We all carry something. And for me, verbal abuse, emotional abuse in my childhood caused me all trauma I needed to work through and peel those layers off by forgiving random people, random situations. And yes, I wasn't physically beaten, but I was extremely verbally and emotionally abused. Yes, I wasn't raped, but I was forced to make love or to do sex or do particular things. And that also cause particular trauma. And today I know that my traumas are mine and they are important and valid and huge for me. The same as your traumas and abuses are valid, important for you to work on. So this I would like you to understand. There is no comparison in forgiveness work. There is no space for comparison. It's not like your abuse was bigger than mine and you've got more work than me. No. Your abuse, your trauma, your experiences are valid for you and important for you and extremely valid. And those are for that other person. And there is no comparison in forgiveness work. And another thing I would like to debunk, the biggest myth right now, because everyone will probably raise the question, unless you already do some forgiveness work. Like, all right, but when I forgive, that means that that person who did that terrible things is now like, okay. That person will take it as, oh, what I did was okay. Forgiveness is not about the person who did something, first of all. The second thing, forgiveness is not about letting the world, you, or even that person, that what they did was okay. Not at all. What they did or what happened was awful, terrible, traumatized. It caused you pain and hurt. It was it, and nothing is going to remove that way from this what they did. And forgiveness is not about letting off the hook that person or that situation. Forgiveness is actually about you. Forgiveness is actually here with you. Forgiveness is unhooking yourself from that experiences, is unloading yourself from those weights and those overwhelmingly heavy loads holding you down, weighing you down, and not allowing you to move on. When we don't forgive, we are giving the power to that person who did us wrong, and we are stuck and we cannot move on. Literally, it is like that person is having the key to that cell and having the key to those chains for you. The moment you let go, unhook yourself from that person, the moment you let go of that person, no matter how bad they were and they are, and that's not going to change anything with them, is the moment when you take power to yourself and when you can let all those ways down, away, and move on. So this is very important also to remember that forgiveness is not about them. It's not giving blessing to those people, saying, oh yeah, you did harm, you did awful things, and now you are good and you are forgiven. No, this is something what it could be embodied in many of us due to our upbringing, conditioning, and maybe some religious theories, or maybe religious also upbringing, where we think that forgiveness is forgiving that person for what they did wrong, and now they are forgiven and free and they can go to heaven. I really don't want to be judgmental here. I don't want to be offensive to anybody who believes that. But I truly want to debunk that myth that forgiveness is about making the person who did wrong now a good person. No, that person did wrong, and that person may work now on changing things, but what they did, it was wrong. And that's it. Exclamation mark and period. There is no but. However, forgiveness is literally about you. Because if you put that forgiveness on those other people and thinking that you need to let them go and you need to make them now right, it's literally like you are not having any power over your life, over you moving forward, and you are going to be stuck. forgiveness is really crucial. It's really crucial, and you may not be doing any another, practices, self-care practices, which all of them are important, self-loving practices, all of them are important, but not to that extent as forgiveness. Forgiveness is truly to be or not to be. It's really being stuck or move on. And once you start doing it, you will see how things are progressing, opening up those new unknown but curious and adventurous and maybe wonderful territories for you, where you can find yourself in more loving, compassionate, kind space around people who actually are also loving, kind, and compassionate towards you. So I hope this video debunked a couple of myths. I hope this video also allowed you to slightly shift your perception of forgiveness. Please let me know what is the one thing which resonated from this video with you. What helped you the most from this video? Which aspect, which part, which debunked myth? And then also I would love to hear from you how you work on your forgiveness. We all are having so many different layers of forgiveness and people and situations. And this what worked for me, what I shared with you in this video, it totally may not work with you. But there are things you are doing and you are working on and may be helping you. Share it with us below in the comments or wherever you are listening. If I'm sharing this video on social media, share below in the comments in social media, or DM me, so we can share with others, because forgiveness is a heavy loaded work, but the more we share, the more we open up, the more we can show other people that it's doable and it's literally liberating and freeing. So I would love to hear your experiences. I would love to hear your obstacles also. And if you need any support, let me know too. If I am able to support you, I would. If I'm not, I will maybe suggest and direct you to people who might possibly be able to support you. There are plenty and beautiful, amazing women coaches out there, which I know, which are working with traumas and things like that. So let me just know. Thank you so much for being here, and really I wanted to share that forgiveness work with you today. I think I dreamt something about that, and I woke up and I'm like, I'm doing a video on forgiveness today, even though I wanted to do something else. The next video will be about something else. So I hope I helped you a little bit. With this, I want to thank you for your time, for your space, for your love, for your compassion, and being with me. And I hope to see you in the next video. In the meantime, yes, below are the links to reach out to me. Subscribe to this channel if you're liking those videos and those tools and tips. And see you in the next beautiful show. I love you.